Here I'll be showing you how to transfer multiple objects from one map version to another easily. So in this case I'll want to transfer these bush objects, which can be found in this folder called Dawn Foliage. Now, if this selection of objects that you want to move includes dynamic objects such as these, you will want to delete all of these dynamic objects, because if these are in a prefab and the prefab gets placed outside of the bounds of the gameplay space, those dynamic objects will be deleted and you will not be able to move that prefab during that fourth session anymore. So if there are dynamic objects such as this in your prefab selection, you will want to delete them before creating the prefab. So in this case I will delete these. Then, now that my selection of objects that I want to transfer is fully made out of static objects, such as these bushes, I will grab selected while having my folders uncollapsed. So this is called collapsed and this is uncollapsed. You'll want to select them when your folders are uncollapsed. Now in my case there are over 150 objects, so I will need to make multiple prefabs. But having this selection of 150 objects, I will make a prefab out of these. I will go to the folder. Seems like there's more, so I will select the objects again and then find the prefab. So I haven't grabbed the selection yet. I will find the prefab and deselect that one. Now I will grab the rest of the objects, 129, make those into a second prefab. So now we have these prefab, but if we select a prefab here, if you select the prefab, we can see that the origin point is somewhere there, and it is much easier if we artificially change the origin point so it'll be easier to place on the map later. And the way to do that is, let's make a new folder, temporary folder here. Make sure it's the working folder. And in that, we will place a temporary object. I like to use a primitive block. Put the location of this as 001,000, which is a universally easily placeable coordinate, and you can see it around the map. In our case, since there's two prefabs, we will want to have two of these. So here we go, I'm selecting the first one and then the second one, and I'm giving them the same location. So now there's two blocks in this exact same location. Now I will want to find the prefab, to some object of it. So here we have the prefab selected, and then I will select one of the blocks and add that to the prefab. So now the block is added to the prefab. I will go to the object properties of the prefab, go to the cycle parent option and find the primitive block. So we will want to make that as the parent. So you can either find the parent through scrolling here, such as this, or you can have the objects in your view and use WASD, arrow keys or D-pad to change between the parents in order to notice when the origin gets put on the block. So there's one. Let's hide that. Now find the other prefab there. Select the other block and do the same thing. I'll see if I can demo the other way. So there we go. I found the origin the other way. So now we have both of the objects prefabbed. Both of the object selections. And here we go. We can see if I hide them both, all of the bushes go out. Now we will want to save these prefabs, so grab one prefab and save it. Give it some temporary name that you can recognize. Here we go. Make sure you see that it's saved. Now hide the prefab that you created and then save the other one. So now that we have our prefabs created, we will want to load into the map where we want to import these prefabs to. So here we are on the map version that I want to import the prefabs into. First thing we will do is set a working folder, in my case this non-folderized objects folder. We will find the prefabs. Here we go, that's one. It's in the folder. And then the second one. There it is. And we will just place them at the coordinate of the origin point that we saved. Ensure that the rotation is set to 0. Oops. It is not moving up. Let's hide some gameplay objects or possibly even the entire rest of the map, to make sure there's space for it to move up. There we go. Let's make the rest of the map visible again. And here we can see all of the bushes are now in the exact same positions. This is a different map file, map version. And now all that is left to do is just to unprefab 1, 2, and delete the temporary pieces. If you made a prefab that is worth more than 150 objects, you may find these objects with a green outline. They only persist for that forge session or if you mouse over them. But that is no critical thing. But that is the way to transfer objects from one map version to another.